Okay, so let's start by how did people get water and in the past? From the earliest times of civilization, people have faced problem of getting water up from under the ground. This sentence give us two pieces of information. What are they? The first one is the first piece of information is that it was very hard to get water in the past. First, they faced problem, so it was not easy of getting water up from under the ground. So where do they get water? So they get water from underground. Okay. So this part give us two pieces of information. Let's go to the second paragraph. In Britain, there are a lot of old castles. Okay. And fortifications. What the meaning of fortifications? Who knows what the meaning of fortification? Do you know?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Did you take this at school or not yet? Fortification means, okay, it's like a defensive wall or something built to strengthen a place against attack. You know, when people build a high wall in order to protect a place. So this is called fortification. Hello. Okay. Long ago, people lived inside these walls of fortification. So a source of water was essential. Essential means very important. Today, castles are attractive places for visitors. So we can see these castles in now, and they are like attractive places that people want to see what is inside these castles. Okay. Uh, Carisbrooke Castle, this is the name of a castle, was built in the Middle Ages in the Isle of Wight, an island. Isle of Wight is an island of the south coast in Britain. The following leaflet is about the donkey-powered well there. Okay, this is the glossary. This word will be found here in the text. So this is about water in the past, and now we are going to read about this castle. What is the name of this castle? Carisbrooke. Carisbrooke Castle, Isle of Wight. Have a great day out and learn about the island's history. So here, Carisbrooke Castle can be found right in the middle of the Isle of Wight. The main castle walls that stand today were built by Norman rulers. Rulers means the presidents of this country. They called Norman in the 11th and 12th centuries. The hill the castle is on, so it was built in a hill. A hill like a small mountain was used as a site, like a location for several previous strongholds. A hill is a great place to build a castle because it can be defended, like protected from enemy attack, because it's high. It's built on a hill. But just as important for the people living in the castle in access to water, at Cairnsburg Castle, you can still see the unique way that water was brought into the castle. So how did they get water to this castle? They made an access that brought water into the castle. Look at this, the gatehouse entrance to Cairo, Carisbrooke Castle. This is the entrance. So they made an access for water to come to this castle. And this is another way. So they get water from underground here in the past, and this castle had an access to water. Come and see the only donkey-powered well in Britain. The well means in Arabic البير. The well at Cairo, Carisbrooke Castle was dug, and البير اتحفر in 1136 when the original water source dried up. So there was an original water source, but it dried up, and this is why they dug a well. Okay, this is another way, original sources and wells. Okay, so original they dug well to get underground water. A wooden bucket was used. Bucket means like the bucket, you know, the bucket like this, a container, okay, made of wood. A wooden bucket was used to collect water from the well, okay, which is 49 meters deep. So they hold a rope to this bucket. The bucket look like this, and it has hands like this, and they put a rope here, and they hold a long rope. And they put it down in the well, okay, to get water from the well. A well house, and yeah, this word, tread wheel. Look at this. This is in the glossary. This is the tread wheel. A tread wheel is a wheel that is kept moving by an animal or person walking on it. Okay, the turning wheel provides the power to raise water from the well or to grind grain. So they have two uses for them. To grind grain, do you know what the meaning of grind grain? Grain like rice, like flour, the flour. يعني طحن الحبوب. So raise water from well and grind grain. يعني they use these tread wheel to do these things. They kept moving by animals. يعني animals move this tread wheel, okay? Or sometimes person walking on it. Okay? The turning wheel provides the power, give you power to raise water from the well, a well, or grind grain. This is the meaning of tread wheel. Were built, so a well house and the tread wheel, a well house and the tread wheel were built in 1291, and donkey power was introduced to the castle. Donkey power. Can you see? They put a donkey inside this wheel, and the donkey keep walking, so this wheel can grind grain and get water from the well. In 1587, the tread wheel was rebuilt by later island ruler, another president. You can see one of the 6 castle donkeys working the tread wheel today. Six castle donkeys. Okay, water being drawn from the well, just as it was many centuries ago. So many different ways now we can talk about in how can in this part, how can people get water in the past. Okay, so this was very useful piece of reading, of reading, and we can extract some information. So the first thing is underground. Number 1, people in the past can get water from underground. sometimes they dug well, okay? And sometimes, like in Harrisburg Castle, they made an access to water, and you can see this access now. It's still there. They dug well. Sometimes people need to dug wells when the original source of water dried up. They use a wooden bucket to collect water from the well, which is 49 meters tall. They use a well house and a tread wheel, and a donkey power was introduced to the castle to get water from this well. All of these are different ways to get water from the past. So now we can write a good paragraph. We have a lot of information to write about this part. Which part? I will tell you now. Yeah. We know how can we write about importance and uses of water. We wrote about them, but we will organize everything in a whole essay. How water was collected in the past. And this is what we will write now. We have 4 different ideas. Compare and contrast between in the past and now. Okay? So now we get everything. But now let's answer some questions about this. Does the leaflet make you think you would like to go there? What do you think? Farida, can you tell me? Or Ferouz? After reading this leaflet about this
Yes.
castle, yes, why?
Because it will be like fun to see like the donkey running.
Yeah. Do you think that this is interesting? Do you think that you will see something different?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Number 2, how effective are the different types of sentence used in the leaflet? How effective are the different types of sentences used in the leaflet? Can you see the different sentence? Sometimes they wrote like a paragraph, an essay. They divided sentences into paragraphs, and sometimes they put them in bullet points. Can you see bullet points? Like here. So these are different ways. I think each one make it interesting, make everything clear, make information easy to get, you know. Number 3, can you think of any ways in which the leaflet could be improved? What do you think? Can we improve this leaflet? Do you have any other ideas? What do you think?
I think
Yeah.
it's
Do you need more photos?
Yes.
Do you need some information about when can we visit this castle? Where is it exactly? I think they said where is it exactly. But more photos will be useful because I think this photo is not enough.
Yes.
Okay, very nice. Look at this. Aha, the passive voice. Do you know the passive voice? We use the passive voice. You know it? What do you know?
Yes.
Mm,
It's like a sentence.
yeah. Yeah.
It's a sentence like that have
Yeah. Okay, let's read. Passive voice is useful when you want to describe how something was done to someone or something without saying who did it. So I just want to tell you how do people get water in the past. So I don't need to say every time people can do so and so. People can do so and so. No, it's easier if I just say what has done without mentioning every time the people in the past. You know, it's not important to tell you who did this, but I can say, like for example, Carisbrooke Castle was built in the Middle Ages. Who built this castle? Do you know who? Who built this castle? Do you know?
Um,
Hmm? Did they tell us? They
no.
just said that the castle was built in the Middle Age. It's not important for you to know who did this, who built the castle, but the most important thing is that the castle was built. Okay? The passive voice is formed by using the appropriate form of the verb to be plus the past participle. It can also be formed using modal verbs. Okay? So we put verb be and then the past participle, like this was, because it's past, and then built. This is past participle, verb 3. This is how can we make the passive. And it's a good way in writing. Okay, so instead of saying, if you want to write a paragraph about methods that people can get water in the past, you can say, instead of saying, for example, people in the past can get water through digging wells, you can say wells were dug to get water in the past. This is the passive. Okay. And this is how should you write the steps of writing a leaflet or making a leaflet. It's not important. Water wheels. We can use this to talk about water wheels because water wheels was very important to get water from the pot. So we can make sentences from this. Okay. Water wheels, Norius of Hama in Syria. Okay. Hama. This city is Hama, مش Hama. Okay. Hama is about 40 kilometers from Aleppo in Syria. Settlements in Hama go back to the Bronze Age and the Iron Age. You know that we have Bronze Age and Iron Age. Hama's water wheel, this is the name of the water wheel, are up to 20 meters in the diameter. This is the diameter of the circle. Okay. Diameter was about 20 meters. The height of a 5-story building. It's like a building of 5 floors. Nurias have been in Hama since at least the 5th century. 70th of the 30 Norius built in the 13th century still survive today. The wheels bring up water from the river Ortons. This is the river that this wheel get water from, as it is lower than the land. Norius are driven by the current of the water acting upon the paddles and require no other form of power to keep them going. Water fills and drives. Yeah, we may use this sentence. Water fills and drives the wooden boxes that empty into adequate to at the top of the wheel's rotation. Can you see? This is how does it work. Wheels were used to supply the town. This is why did it use. wheels were used to supply the town with water and for irrigating crops in surrounding farmland. Although no longer applied to practical use, the wheels still turn in spring and summer for the benefit of tourists. Yeah, this is another usage, but now for the wheel, we don't need it. Creaking and groaning as they bring up the water, they are a wonderful sight and remind of serious, fascinating past. So this is another idea that we can talk about in our essay. Now we are just collecting ideas in order to write a nice paragraph. Look at this photo. This is Hama, Syria. This is the wheel, water wheel, and this is a postcard. Dear Joe, we had a wonderful time in Hama where they have these amazing old water wheels in a race from the 13th century. They scoop the water up from the river in boxes to supply whole towns with water. So this is another way of getting water. So wells and wheels, water wheels, okay? And you can explain, okay? So with water wheels, scoop the water from the river in boxes to supply whole towns with water, and also the local farmlands after being channeled through adequates. So they should make tunnels كده in the farmlands to get water, or at least they used to. These days, it's just for the tourists. They don't use it. They have other ideas to get water. But the wheels are magnificent to see in action, breaking, groaning like big old ghost ships. They like to see it working, but they don't use it. They just see it because they are nice. Okay? If you don't know any word, just let me know. If there is any difficult word, just let me know. Okay?
Okay.
Magnificent means amazing. To see in action while they are working. Creaking is the sound, creaking and groaning. This is the sound of the wheel while it is working, like big old ghost ship. Okay? Wish you were here seeing it all with us. Love, Karina. This is a postcard. Okay? So we can take also some ideas. We just read to reach our minds. Look at this. Do not describe something you learned while on holiday. This is not very important. Who lives on water? When you were discussing ways you use water, did anyone think of using water as a place to live? Wow, another idea here. Water is important because it's a place to live. Who lives in water? This is another idea. Map of Bangladesh showing its big river system. Look at this. This is Bangladesh, a lot of river system here. Can you see? All of these are rivers. Here we have a cobra. This is a kind of snake, and then a delta. The delta, you know delta? It's land formed at the mouth of a river by the mud and sand brought there by the water, like this. Like this. This is a delta. We have a delta in Egypt. So this is the sea. This is the sea, and these are rivers. And here, this place is called delta, between the sea and the rivers. Okay, this is delta. Prose nonfiction. From Going Extreme by Nickel. Okay. The following story is about the river gypsies. Do you remember the gypsies that we have taken last time? Who lives and work on their boats in Bangladesh. Look at the map to see just how large the river delta is in Bangladesh. The river gypsies of Bangladesh are known for their skills in handling snakes. The writer met the river gypsies on his travels, and the following text recalls on occasion when these skills were put to good use. Word origins gypsies, do you remember gypsy? Were originally thought to have come from Egypt, which is where the name comes from. Gypsies are traveling people, and their language, Romani, is related to Hindi. Today, there are gypsy all over the world. We said in Arabic, it's called, or they are called al-Ghagar. And I want you to concentrate on the meaning of these words because we are going to be asked about them. To dangle, commotion, coax. Oh, we finished them. Yeah, this is the story about Gypsy and Snake. We have finished it last time. Did we discuss this? Yeah. To cower faithful. Did you get the meaning of these words? Or not yet? Last time I explained this and I sent you the video. You remember? So I want you to find the meaning of these words.
Yeah.
Do you have any difficult words here that you don't know?
No.
Okay. We finished this also last time. We answered these questions. Writing an account, the River Gypsy is written in the first person, which is the writer's point of view. This is called first person. And he's talking about himself using the pronoun I. The pronoun I is the writer himself, and he is retelling the event as he remembers them. He often uses the simple past tense to describe what happened. The text presents things in chronological order, like the right order, like the time. That means that things are told in the order in which they happen. This is the meaning of chronological order. It means things are told in the order in which they happen. Okay? Now pretend that you are told, man, you are the old man who had the snake taken from his home. You meet a neighbor who was away when the river gypsies came, and she asks you to explain what happened. So now you are the old man who has a snake in his house. Okay? Write an account from old man's perspective, من وجهة نظره. Make it sound very exciting. Remember to write the first person and mainly use the past simple tense. طبعا it's very important. Use the first person اللي هو I أو we use the past simple tense. But watch out for any irregular verbs. Okay? Did you take this poem? They didn't talk about poem in the exam parts.
No.
I don't think you will take it. Now let's talk about thinking about water. When you were brainstorming the ways in which we use water, yeah, this is very important to our writing that we'll do now. Did you think about going to the beach? You think about going to the beach while you are talking about water? Look at this painting. Yes, of course. By the French artist Edgar Degas, painted in the 19th century. Degas liked to paint ordinary people at leisure. Leisure, they are enjoying themselves on the beach. I think this is the beach, and people are enjoying their leisure time. Leisure means like free time. Okay. At this time in France, it was becoming fashionable to visit the seaside. Fashionable means like in fashion, like a trend. It became a trend to visit the seaside, to go to the beach, I mean. In this image, a woman combs the hair of the young girl. Can you see here? This is the woman. She's combing this young girl. who has fallen asleep in the sun. The girl is sleeping in the sun. Beach seen by Ager painted in, oh, it's too old. What is happening in the painting? This is not important. Yeah. So now we have another idea about uses of water. Going to the beach. Now we have collected a lot of ideas, and now we just want to order them. Let's see here, extension reading from Little House on the Barrier. Yeah, this is the story of a family of settlers who traveled to the western part of America before it was part of the United States. Many families joined wagon trains in search of wealth, excitement, and a better life. Here, the father of the family finds trouble while digging a well. Again, so it's about digging a well. Fresh water to drink. This is a nice story that will give you a nice idea about importance of water. Next morning, he marked a large circle in the grass near the corner of the house with his pad. He cut the sod inside the circle and lifted it up in large pieces. Then he began to shovel out the earth, digging himself deeper and deeper down. So now they are talking about the man. Okay, so fresh water to drink. Next morning, he marked a large circle. يعني عمل علامة a large circle عمل علامة على شكل دايرة كبيرة in the grass على الأعشاب near the corner of the house جنب ركن البيت. With his spade he cut the sod inside. بالأداة بتاعته اسمها spade. He cut the sod inside. What the meaning of sod؟ يعني قطع الأعشاب اللي عمل علامة سيركل كده وابتدى يقطع الحاجات من جواه. The circle, inside the circle. And lifted it up وشالها in a large pieces. كتل كبيرة. Then he began to shovel out the earth. بالجاروف كده بيطلع الأرث اللي هو التربة. Digging himself deeper and deeper down. ليه؟ Because he is digging a well. This is how they dig the well. Mary and Laura must not go near the well while Pa was digging وهما باباهم بيحفروا even when they couldn't see his head anymore. أبدا ما ينفعش يروحوا حتى لو مش شايفين راس باباهم because he will go down. Can you understand this? Shovelfuls of earth came flying up. At last, the spade flew up and fell in the grass. Then Pa jumped. His hand caught hold of sod. Then the elbow grabbed it. يعني هو كان بيوصف ازاي بيطلع بقى بعد ما حفر البير. And then the other elbow كوع التاني بتاعه. And with a heave, Pa came rolling out. They are describing how did he get out from the well after digging it. I can't throw the dirt out from my deeper. أنا مش عارف. This is he said اللي هو their father. I can't throw the dirt out from any deeper. يعني خلاص مش عارف يطلع الديرت من تحت. He had to have help now. محتاج حد يساعده. So he took his gun and rode away on Patty. When he came back, he brought a plump rabbit, and he had traded work with Mr. Scott. يعني جاب مستر سكوت يساعده، وجاب حاجات يشيل فيها الديرت، ومستر سكوت يطلعها معاه. Mr. Scott would help him dig this well. هيساعده في حفر البير. And then he would help dig Mr. Scott's well. بنات, if you don't understand any word, just let me know. Okay? Open your
Okay.
mic and tell me what you don't understand. What is exactly? Ma and Laura and Mary had not seen Mr. and Mrs. Scott. Their house was hidden somewhere in a little valley on the Barriere. Laura had seen the smoke rising up from it. Smoke اللي هو الدخان أو التراب أو العفرة. And that was all. هما ده اللي شايفينه. هما بيتهم مستخبي. At the dawn next morning, على الفجر, dawn next morning, Mr. Scott came. He was short and stout. His hair was bleached by the sun, and his skin was bright red and scale. They are describing Mr. Scott now. He didn't tan, he peeled. هو مش واخد tan, هو مقشر من الشمس والوقفة وكده. It's the blasted sun and wind, he said. Beg your pardon, من فضلك يا مدام, but it's